Hey, don't forget to check out Rant Cafe wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, iTunes, and so on. You can watch the episodes live as we make them on Twitch, links in the description. And of course, the links to all of our guests in each episode are in the description, so show them some love. Hey, what is up everybody? It's Animac here for Anime Uproar, and welcome to another episode of the Rant Cafe podcast. Even though it's Thanksgiving, and happy Thanksgiving to everyone who celebrates, we sacrificed in order to be here for you today. It's definitely not because none of us are from the United States of America. It's because we love you that much. Joining me today to discuss anime side characters that should have been protagonists, we have Daniel Rustage back again.
Hello, it's me, Rustage. Hi, you can see my face this time, so it's different than the last time I was here.
Glad to have you. And in France, he is known as Daniel Rustage.
True story.
That's true.
Absolutely. Also joining me, we have Knox and Briggs.
Hey, what up, guys?
It's Nux and Briggs here.
It is us, Nux and Briggs.
The Knox and Briggs.
The collective co-hosts.
Well, okay, you guys stream together. You're talking together all the time.
Nux is on my channel more than I am.
Oh, that was real, bro.
Yeah.
Real stuff. Yeah, so this is going to be an exciting one because I actually wanted to talk about this because I noticed that in anime you have a lot of side characters that you're like, I want to know more about this guy, but no, you got to learn about the main character and see everything through his eyes. And I mean, some main characters are great, but some side characters are just so interesting. So I thought it would be a good idea to talk about this. And of course, thank you to our podcast sponsor, Jen Marie Says, for sponsoring this podcast.
Thank you to Gamer HGH in the chat for saying Nux and Briggs is better than Rick and Morty.
And thank you to Abdel for 500 bits. And yeah, boy, hoy. Yeah, boy, hoy. Thank you for all the subs. But let's jump. Nux, just subscribe? What is going on? All right, let's just jump into the actual stream. Who wants to go first? I will go first.
I want to go first.
Oh, God, everyone wants to go first.
No, I'm just playing,
Right,
Nux. You got this, bro.
How about this? Rustage will go first. As the
Okay.
guest of honor, we should
The
definitely
one who
appreciate...
didn't have any planning time and was already told a few minutes ago, but I do have one,
Hell yeah.
and it's semi-related to my last appearance. What if the perspective of Full Metal Alchemist was just from Roy Mustang?
The perspective of what?
Full Metal Alchemist. Oh, sorry.
The
I'm not going
perspective
to
of
say
what?
you're
What?
funny. I'm not going to say you're
Come
funny.
on, try it, man. Please,
I'm not going to do
please.
your... I would just be silly.
No. It'll sound epic. You're the god of voice here.
I'm not...
You got this.
I can't. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
He's got to look at the letters. If Nux typed it out for you,
There's a
you'd
valiant
kill it.
It's really
Yeah.
bad. I can't do it.
You made a rookie mistake. It's Brotherhood.
Oh,
With
okay.
the Z.
And you start with
That was the mistake,
Fura.
Animac. Thanks for catching it.
Yep,
The mi-
I got you
my-
back, Nux.
My mistake was agreeing to join in the first place. In
Oh,
hindsight.
too late.
But no, Roy Mustang I think would be really good as just the. I mean, he's kind of like the semi-protagonist. He's like the secondary protagonist anyway. But I almost feel like his story is just very interesting, and I like him. And I just like him a lot. I like looking at him. I wish he
Especially
was
if you get more
around more.
details on the whole war and like
Yeah.
his whole backstory with Hawkeye. I feel like, and like him learning flame alchemy, I think that'd be super interesting. And he turns into an absolute badass. So it'd be cool to see more of how he got there, and then him fighting as like a main protagonist.
Yeah, I feel for
The
sure.
only
if we
thing
saw,
I'm
like,
upset
his,
about
like-
is I feel like in the middle of every episode when it goes Full Metal Alchemist, Full Metal Alchemist, in the
Yep.
middle of every single episode of Fullmetal Alchemist, it should have just been Mustang. He had the coolest one.
he
Like,
did.
I feel like they should have chucked all the other ones. I mean, did you really want to hear Scar say it or Alex Louis
No.
Armstrong, as epic as they were? Nah, fam. Just Rustage voicing
Just
Roy
Rustage.
Mustang. Just Rustage voicing Mustang as the commercial break cards
Oh, okay. I just
and
commented.
pronouncing it the right way.
I would like to see his like story with Hawkeye a little bit more, and like how they met and all of that, and just the
Don't
general.
worry,
And
there's
then, like,
there's a ton of nice continuations to that on
Oh, yeah.
Pornhub.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say
yeah, yeah.
dojinshi.com.
Dojinshi.com, whatever.
Okay,
But
we're
then-
not
yeah,
being
yeah.
sponsored by these.
but like
websites.
afterwards
Stop
as well.
shouting.
After the story, because obviously like Al's and Edward's story is ended because that's how it ends. Roy's story still kind of continues after that because he has to do a bunch of stuff after that. And
Yeah, he becomes the Fuhrer.
Exactly. I think, Roy as the Führer, the story would be really interesting to see what happens whilst he's the Führer,
Yeah, but it's like peace, happily ever after. You want them to start picking on another race?
Well, no, but it's like, the Avatar comics after Aang becomes... after it all happens. There's a bunch of interesting stuff that happens in the Avatar comics that I feel like similar things could happen with Roy Mustang. And it would be good. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood 2, Roy Mustang.
There could be like a war with another nation or something, and since he's so against war, he'd like try to stop it in certain ways, but it would end up happening anyway.
World.
Terrorism. It could.
We only know about like 2 parts of this world, and there's probably more shit.
Yeah, for real. I subscribe to this.
Probably more.
There's probably more stuff in the.
I want world building now. More world building.
I can tell you're a One Piece fanboy.
All right. Well,
when does Whitebeard show up? I want Roy Mustang versus Whitebeard.
Whitebeard. Hell yeah. Although, I mean, speaking of One Piece, every legendary character should have his own spinoff. I mean, right now we're getting in the manga flashbacks of Odin, and goddamn, Odin is the sickest mad lad ever. I mean, I am loving this guy. He's in my 5 favorite One Piece characters right now, and he's only been introduced.
Controversially, I'm not a huge fan of Odin.
What? Not a huge fan of Odin, father of the gods.
I just kind of think that everyone's just like, oh, this guy's amazing, and then you flash back and he's amazing, and then it's just it just feels kind of boring to me personally. And I know I'm in the minority.
The guy heated up his soup on a corpse that was burning,
I know.
Okay?
He did all of this stuff, but it just feels like
it just feels like a lot of flexes and OP, like him just being overly OP to you, right?
And I think maybe they're going for the angle that maybe he actually didn't do this, and this is just what, because he's a legend in a way. So
no, fam, he did this. Did
you
read the
exactly.
chapter?
I mean, no, that's what I mean, right? He did actually do this, and so it just sort of feels feels a bit much,
Guys, I'm just glad we went 4 whole minutes before bringing up One Piece.
How did we even get to One Piece?
Nux brought up the Chad,
but he brought up the Chad because I mentioned world build. You mentioned world building.
I'm just saying that Odin just feels like a Mary Sue character to me, and he's kind of boring and he's not interesting to me.
I love Odin. Odin's great. But anyway, point is, I feel like all these main legendary characters, like Roger, Rayleigh, Shanks, Whitebeard, I would love to see all of their pasts.
Oh yeah, and I mean. And we will eventually, I think. But yeah, just full stories from their perspectives
would be so interesting.
Even like the name dropped characters, like what's his name, D Zebek, Rox D Zebek.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Oh, Rox D Zebek for sure. He probably
makes into this idea.
All right.
So anyway, One Piece would have a lot of great side characters, but I don't think any of the One Piece characters can surpass Luffy as a protagonist. Just like I don't think Roy can really surpass Ed as a protagonist.
That's true.
I was gonna say that.
Surpass Asta as a protagonist?
Kobe as a protagonist would be really fun to watch.
It would be fun to
watch. I wouldn't say it would be better than Luffy. I just really like Kobe a lot.
I do like Kobe, and it'd be interesting to watch him rise through the ranks of the Marines and fight corruption. Because a cool thing about One Piece is the the Marines are corrupt, the world government's corrupt, pirates are corrupt, obviously.
No side is. It's all down to persons and their morals and such. And I think Kobe is such a good character in the Marines, and he would be able to. You could see him shape it from the inside, and I think that would be such a good story perspective to be. I would love that.
I'm kind of neutral towards Kobe, not gonna lie.
Well, I kind of see what your sort of characters you like, and I can understand why you don't like Kobe that much.
Okay, so for me to chime in as well, I think I agree with Nux in terms of Ed being a great protagonist. So while I think that Mustang is awesome as a character, I wouldn't necessarily say that I would want Fullmetal Alchemist to have him as the protagonist instead of Ed. So spin-off would be different, but I love Ed and Al.
They are good.
So, Animac, for your choice, who would you go for?
I have quite a few choices.
Mirio. Bring up Mirio already. Let's do it.
No, I have my money on him saying Kamina, man.
No, I'm going to actually say Mirio.
All right, okay. Let's talk Mirio.
Yeah, let's do
because
it. So,
he's definitely he would be a better protagonist than Deku in My Hero Academia. In fact, they even toyed with the idea in the show itself. Maybe you should have given one for all to Mirio, and then he was like,
Yeah.
"Nah, fam, I won't because I'm dumb." You should have given it to Mirio. You
No,
imagine Mirio with one for all?
yeah, I mean, Mirio is great, and I did a whole video on him recently where I looked at his life, and I think that he would have definitely been, for me, a better protagonist because he is such an interesting character. Like, he's been through so much. So, like, he's been through a lot of hardship, but he's still able to pull himself together and smile and, you know, overcome these challenges so in such a cool way. He had a difficult quirk to master, and he ended up working incredibly hard to master it. And yeah, I just love him. And I feel like with Deku, he inherits the quirk, and then he does work hard, but he's also kind of like crying a lot.
Well, I
and
mean,
all that
okay,
type of stuff.
what I dislike about Deku and kind of dislike about My Hero a little bit is that it could have been a good story about how Deku became a hero even though he was quirkless, if that made sense. Like, he could have become like a Batman-style hero guy who used his brains and superior fighting abilities to become a strong hero, but instead he just got superpowers anyway. So this whole like starting arc where he was born not a hero and can someone without a quirk be a hero is just sort of thrown away because it doesn't matter, he's just got the best quirk now anyway. And
yeah, that's a good point, because I thought that it was cool how he didn't have a quirk, but then he gets a quirk that is very overpowered, whereas
And if
Mirio
you read the manga, then you're like, oh damn, you thought he was overpowered before.
yeah, let's not even get into that. But yeah, Mirio, he does have a quirk. So he's not quirkless, but it's a quirk that can be overpowered if you work incredibly hard. But it is a great trial and a journey and a lot of effort to get to the point where that quirk can be as useful as it is. So that's why I thought he would have been a great character to explore.
Yeah, I like that a lot. But I almost feel like he would be a really good protagonist, but I don't think he should get one for all. I think he should, I'm
not talking about necessarily from a writer's perspective. Obviously, you can't have the main character have both one for all and go through walls and pull Phantom Menace bullcrap everywhere. Obviously, that can't be the case. But from an in-story perspective, Mirio is literally everything that Deku is, just way better. He has that same moral outlook, but he has it on a higher level.
Is he as analytical as Deku is in combat? Like, he is analytical, but is he as much as Deku?
No, like Deku...
For me, right now, I mean, even though the most heartrending scene of Mirio is obviously a spoiler for this season and very awesome, my favorite scene of Mirio's is when he's fighting against the a bunch of like the top guys in the 8 Precepts of Death. In MHA Akatsuki part version 2, because every arc introduces a new Akatsuki.
When Mirio was fighting Itachi, that was my favorite scene.
Hell yeah. But when he for a while, I can't say this without using his quirk, he kept fighting and stalling for a good amount of time. And he was like cut to shreds. Oh my god, that scene hit me hard.
And the great thing about that is that because his quirk, the nature of his quirk, is that he has to train extremely hard physically. It's not enough just to train his quirk because he has this great quirk. He had to train his body in order to learn to use his quirk in the first place. So then even if he can't use his quirk at a certain point and he has to fight physically, he can still put up a challenge. And that's cool to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yes, for sure. And I'm definitely going to be doing a Mirio rap once all of his scenes are in the anime. 100%.
Yeah, bro, I'd rap it if you want.
You could put,
don't take that too seriously.
We could do two versions. We could do the Nutstaku version and the Rustage version.
There we go. No, it's all good. No, thank you. I don't want to rap Mirio. He's not memey enough. I love him. He's my favorite character in My Hero.
Yeah, you're not typecasted as Mirio.
No.
You're typecasted as Usopp and Mineta.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Nox would be a good Mineta.
He is going to be Mineta. He is Mineta.
I would.
Next week.
I know.
That's awesome.
That's cool. I like that. By the way, in case you don't know, Rustage is the anime gangster rapper. So check out his channel.
I am the anime rapper.
You should rap about the anime gangster.
Who
or gangster?
The anime gangster.
Gangster.
Because then he would
I know
really be a
people-
gangster rapper.
I know people who like gangster. I've never read it though.
I like it.
Oh wait,
It's alright.
those people only read the manga and didn't watch the anime.
Oh, yeah, that's probably it. There's a lot of stuff where it's just the manga's way better than the anime.
I really didn't have anything to say about Mirio, but speaking of My Hero Academia, I didn't want to get into it right away. I think Todoroki would have actually been a good character if he was the protagonist.
I
think he is a good character, and he would have definitely been a better protagonist than Deku.
I think he's not a good character.
Okay, hold up.
But I would
almost
agree
feel
that he
like
would be a better protagonist than Deku.
I feel like we're ragging on Deku too much. I think Deku is a very good protagonist.
He's
I
alright.
like him a lot. I like him more than Naruto, and I like him more than. I do.
I like Deku, but literally less than every other character that's interesting. So like, I think he's in the bottom 10 characters of Class 1A.
Wow.
I legit like Kaminari, Kirishima,
Yeah.
Bakugo,
Yeah.
Todoroki, Yaoyorozu.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish he had more to his
that's-
character than being like.
I get. You know
righteous.
you know what the problem is? I think with Deku, it's not so much that he's a bad character. It's that the fact that he gets this OP quirk kind of sours it for us. I think.
Yeah. I
because,
mean,
like,
yes. I mean, that's my biggest issue with him.
No,
but
it's
not to do with his
it sours
personality.
it for me as well. But I think his personality is lacking as well. He has no He has like no quirkiness really.
Yo, he's just a good guy. And when they want to make him
Exactly.
quirky, it's like, oh my god,
Okay.
he's mumbling notes? That's so awkward. Oh,
Hold
man.
Hold up. A lot of quirkiness in other shonen protagonists is just them being a pervert, right? Like, what quirkiness does Meliodas have besides being a pervert?
Meliodas is a fantastic character. You
He's
can't
a
even
good
compare
character.
the two.
No. Meliodas is a good character, but he doesn't have quirkiness that outside of that.
I
mean,
disagree. Look at his
I also
relationship.
disagree.
Look at his
He
relationship
has
with
this
Bond.
whole. Well, that's not really quirkiness, but I was gonna actually talk about Seven Deadly Sins in a bit. But
Okay.
Meliodas as a character is such a tortured soul. He's not like Deku, okay? Not
Yes,
even
yes.
a little.
I know. I
So
get
the-
that.
He is someone who's
reason-
gone through so much terrible stuff. He has to bottle down and stopper his
Oh, yeah.
emotions so he doesn't freak out and destroy a country. So because of that, all the emotions he's showing, it's the sate, sate, sate. It's him being a bit of a dick.
And it's honestly
just
him
that-
acting,
just
in
because-
my opinion. Like just trying
Yeah,
to putting up
I
a
do like-
facade,
He's
right?
acting because he's in pain.
So that's what I was gonna say to Rustage. Like he might appear to not be super quirky, but that's because he's literally like
Yeah,
bottling his emotions.
Meliodas was a bad comparison, but I do feel like Deku. I just like his genuineness. He just seems like a nice, friendly guy, and a lot of shonen protagonists piss
Yeah,
me
I
off.
know. All right, so to be fair, you like him compared to the generic shonen protagonist.
Yeah, I
but
like him.
You don't like him as a character?
Rustage likes him because he's a nice guy, and I don't like him because he's a nice guy.
Yo, he's too nice of a guy. It's like let him be more like Kenichi,
I
right,
think
Riggs?
I think he's got. I think
He's
he's got
actually
a.
so much like Kenichi, it's
Well,
funny.
here's the thing. Here's the thing: is I like him because his backstory is not super tragic. It's not like over the top. My parents are dead. Everything sucks. Like a lot of characters is, but it's kind of sad. But it's a realistic. I just like
It
him
is
because
kind of
he's just-
sad, and it is realistic,
it's-
100%.
It's just not. He's just sort of a guy, and I like that. He seems genuine. He
Yeah.
seems.
All right, let me actually.
to be fair,
let me
Nux,
actually
Nux.
do this and
Well,
compare.
let me just say
Deku
something
to
before
Kenichi.
you.
Okay, this
Nux,
stream's not
Nux,
about Deku
before
anymore.
You continue,
Let's just
before you
not.
continue, I just want to say that Deku's dad did leave to get milk at the store and never came back. So that is pretty tragic.
So back to
pretty-
Todoroki, Nux.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
but all of
Sorry.
his like tragic backstories, it's like I had no quirk. What about your dad? I don't care about my dad. I had no quirk. Damn it.
So obviously my hatred for Todoroki is personal bias about me not liking OP characters in his way, and obviously it's a meme at this point. But when it actually comes down to it, I don't think, other than his backstory, I don't think after his post backstory, the way he reacted to what happened in his past was overly well done. And I feel like if he was the protagonist and he was given more time, I think
They
he
could
actually would have
develop
been a
I
great
think they would
character.
be able to develop that more, and I think we're missing a big chunk of his life.
Yeah, I feel like he finally
that's-
developed as a character, and then he's just
because-
gone. He just
because-
disappeared
Well,
from the
currently in the
series.
manga,
Well,
they're exploring his family
Yeah,
stuff.
they're doing that. But when we met Todoroki, he was sort of he was a lot more isolationist and emotionally muted, like a lot of people who go through trauma are, where they sort of block out quite a lot of emotions, represented by the fact that he doesn't use his fire quirk. But that's kind of boring as a character. Like, it's understandable, but it would be interesting to see that part of him if we saw everything that happened before then, like him trying to deal with it all. And if he was a protagonist, we would see that.
Exactly. I think that would make him a much better character.
I think it would have been great for him to be a protagonist, just because the reason why I think his development in the tournament arc was great is because someone like Deku pulled him out of his dark place. I think he would have been he is better as a support character all in all. And I think that Mirio should have been the protagonist. But all of that said and stored away, I think it would have been fantastic if Stain would have been the protagonist of My Hero Academia.
That would be cool.
I don't know.
That would be amazing.
I don't think so, Nux, and I'll tell you why. Stain is cool as a villain, but his ideology is very one-dimensional if you really think about it. So I feel like it would get old fast, this whole thing.
I feel like he would then start seeing how the villains are something that needs to be stopped, and he would change, like
that would be cool.
Sometimes in stories.
That would be good. Have a sort of arc where like Stain starts as a hero, then turns to a villain, and then turns to a hero again. As a sort of
that would have been great.
Yeah, so he could kind of become like a Punisher type character. He's just his own vigilante dude. He's like, I don't like the villains, I don't like the heroes.
They could have done that with Deku, just not giving him one for all and made him more of a vigilante.
That's true. They could have, if Deku never got one for all, they could have made him a proper.
He could have trained, became strong. Yeah. Like Stain is like his quirk. Without it, he's still insanely strong. Yeah, because he's so fast.
To be honest.
I like that. I like that when characters, their quirks are not that OP, so they have to train physically in order to even be able to use their quirk in any effective way. I respect that.
That would have been cool if Todoroki stopped using his firepower and wasn't amazingly OP just using his ice.
All right, Briggs.
It's like, oh, I'm not going to use my fire, but still be the best.
I have another idea of a supporting character that I just thought of that I think would be really good to see, because we talk about shonen protagonist. What if Rock Lee was the main character of Naruto?
Hey, I had that one.
Was the main character of Naruto in the training exam.
I think that would be amazing.
Yes, but like then we continue his story from that point onwards, and I just think he would be, because he got really shafted.
Especially in a world where like you need, like, it's completely like tailed beasts, eye jutsus, and this insane genjutsu and ninjutsus. Seeing Rock Lee rise up in the world and imagining him having to defeat Madara, or like in the war. He could have, because remember Guy. I mean, Madara said Guy was like pretty much his most formidable foe that he fought against. So that could have been Rock Lee, man.
Yeah, I mean, he couldn't have, obviously, at the time that he would, like, but if he was the main character, then he could have. Because then he would have got more development and training. And I think that Madara versus Rock Lee fight, where, and then Rock Lee just beats Madara, and then that's it. That's how it ends. That would be great.
Imagine Rock Lee as both a physical underdog and a social underdog like Naruto is. Like, imagine Rock Lee was an outcast of the village because he couldn't use ninjutsu, and everyone else could use that. And like, it's just a common thing that people were able to do.
That would sound pretty creepy. It's like no ninjutsu.
It kind of sounds like Black Clover. You can't use magic. Like
the village is already pretty creepy. I mean, they had this whole like thing about child soldiers at the beginning of Naruto that they just dropped when going to Shippuden. And I feel like
soldiers. You mean the foundation?
Well, just like but also the fact that these children are training to be ninjas and going on deadly missions, and they're children, right? Like Kakashi, as a child, did a bunch of fucked up shit. They're child soldiers, right?
Yeah, and because there was like a war.
Exactly, right? Exactly. I'm saying, but there was more that they could like.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Do stuff with that, but in Shippuden they didn't do anything with it. So
Shippuden kind of forgot a lot about what made the original Naruto.
There was a lot of like.
All right, I was waiting to talk about Black Clover because I want to hear Rustage pronounce Mereoleona. Please go for it, Rustage.
Mereoleona. Bang.
First try! Damn! All right. I don't even need to talk about Black Clover.
Okay, so imagine this.
Mereoleona.
What if there was a prequel to Boruto where Boruto's dad was the actual protagonist?
Oh.
Did Boruto have a son that died? No.
Rustage just falling apart.
Like he said Mereoleona, but then after that he lost it completely.
I just lost it. I've lost all of it. Black
You got
Clover.
way too overconfident there, my friend.
Asta's a good protagonist.
Yeah.
To be honest, Asta is like if Rock Lee was the protagonist of Naruto in a little bit.
Yeah.
And
No. Oh, okay.
no. In
So
the essence,
different
okay.
characters, bro.
In the essence that they both don't have magic in a world that has magic, right?
Mhm.
And that's, and that's how they rise up in the ranks, fighting with not magic, and
I
that
like
in the
yeah.
essence.
I like Asta as a protagonist, and again, yeah, he ends up getting an OP power. But again, it's one of those things where because he doesn't have natural magic, he had to train his body. He couldn't even be able to lift up that sword if he didn't train his body really hard, right? So there is some of that there. It's like he earned it. The only protagonist that I would maybe want to see more than Asta from Black Clover would be Yami, because I think Yami would be a great
Damn.
protagonist.
Yami Yugi.
No, Yami from Black Clover.
If
Kaiba
Yu-Gi-Oh!
would've been a
Chad
sick
Princeton would have been a better protagonist than Jaden in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX.
Maybe. But do you think that Joey Wheeler could have been a better protagonist? I don't think so. I was just throwing this out.
I think Kaiba would have been a cool
A good
protagonist.
thought.
Kaiba would have been good. But
Kaiba would have been a good protagonist.
Well, Jerry sucked, right? At the beginning. And
He still
got
does,
better.
bro.
well,
Yo,
he
you
still
love-
does. But if he,
Rustage
but if he
loves
was the
underdog stories.
No,
This-
but
this
if he was the
feeling I get-
protagonist, then he wouldn't suck at the end, because that's how protagonists work.
Yeah.
Yugi
All right.
was just good at card
Rustage,
games.
Do you realize that this mad lad summons swordsman of Landstar in attack mode
Yeah,
every single duel?
yeah. I
And
know.
then when his opponent attacks him, he's like, I activate my trap card, Skull Dice. If I roll a dice, you lose 400 attack points. And then it's obviously still not enough because Swordsman of Landstar is garbage. So he's like, I also have Graceful Dice.
Okay,
I rolled a
Joey
dice.
does suck.
Joy doesn't
But-
want to play cards. He just want to play,
but you have
play with
to
dice.
That with Yugi, when he gets possessed by the Egyptian pharaoh and shit, he just becomes the best at this card game. It's a little boring. Yeah, I'm talking about the Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist and not
Mhm.
original Yu-Gi-Oh! Where it's more exciting.
I
And-
think we found your Joey if you ever do a Yu-Gi-Oh rap.
Yeah, it would be
Nux
nuts.
got it.
Nux could do a good Joey.
All right, I got a character that I need to talk about. It would have been my first choice to talk about. Kahlua from Hunter x Hunter.
Is he not already
Ooh.
kind of a
He-
protagonist?
He kind of is. And so I love Hunter x Hunter. I love all the villains. I love the world. I love the battle system. Nen is amazing. The fights are fantastic.
Yeah.
My one issue, I don't overly love Gon, but the overall like group of Karapika, Leorio, Gon, and Kahlua is a great group, and together they're a great group of protagonists or main characters.
Never
I
together.
agree.
What do you
Better
mean they're-
together.
they're kind of-
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like,
You know
at least
what?
Gon and Kahlua are together quite a bit. Those are my favorite moments, especially even early when they're all together. I like it a lot.
I could actually comment
I was
on
actually
this now,
thinking
which is
of
cool.
mentioning.
Hey, Animac
Yeah.
notes about Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah, and I would say that I definitely think that you're onto something there, because Gon, when I first started watching Hunter x Hunter, Gon seems like such like a childish sort of regular protagonist. Oh, his dad went for milk, right? You know, same old thing. But
Yeah.
with Killua, he's like the Zoldyck family is so interesting, and I loved how during the York New arc they really build up the spiders, right? The Phantom Troop as these OP villains, and it's like they're just like crushing thousands of people on their own, and you're like, okay, so who could possibly defeat him? They're like, oh well, guess what? There's members of the Zoldyck family that are just as OP, and you're like, oh shit, I like that.
I
like
love that scene.
Yeah, so to me that was like they set up really OP villains to the point where you're like, oh shit, like these guys are unstoppable, and then they're like, no, there's other people, and they're Zoldyck family, right? So yeah,
The
Killua
thing is, though,
definitely interesting.
Killua's journey is he just wanted a friend, man.
Uh-huh.
So he was tagging along with Gon. Not that he had any of his own direction. We sort of needed this story to follow Gon because at least Gon had his own.
No, he had like no direction, man.
Gon definitely had direct. Killua even like said early on, like when Gon asked him what he wanted to do, and Killua was like, I don't know, I'll just follow you. Like,
Yeah.
Well,
Like,
Gon
Killua
would
didn't have
have still
drive
been in the
early.
story if Kahlua was the
Also-
protagonist. They would still would have
also-
became friends and had a journey together, right?
the thing is, Gon makes a good protagonist because he's a catalyst for character development, like Luffy is, where he's quite positive and he has a different outlook on things. And because of his outlook on things, it makes other people question their own things. Like Lirio and I can't say words. And Killua, they all changed their ideologies because of Gon, right? like how Luffy shapes
I'm
other
not- I'm not
people's
fully with you
ideologies
on
and
this
stuff.
one. I agree with Luffy. Luffy has an unwavering ideology that changes people. Gon is a psychopath. If you actually watch Hunter x
Okay.
Hunter and think about it, Gon is messed up there. He is whack.
What's
I'm
Okay.
I'm not
it's
saying
actually
that
true.
Gon
It's true.
is. I'm not saying that Gon's as much of a catalyst as Luffy is, but I'm saying he still is one in some way.
He would pull legs off spiders just because, like, it gives him a bigger chance to meet his dad or something.
Yeah.
So think about the intro of Hunter x Hunter.
Would you not
Gon
pull legs of
is going-
spiders if it meant you could be closer to getting a goal?
Okay.
Like, if someone told you...
Yeah, but I wouldn't
"Oh,
enjoy it.
People
No,
died next to him in the Hunter exam, and he didn't even flinch or react to it. Like they just fucking fell to their death, and he's just like,
I
"Oh,
just like-
I'm not gonna
yeah,
try to
yeah.
save them." He
lots
wasn't a
of-
hero
lots
in
of
any
stuff-
way.
Lots of fucked up stuff happened. I just like how Nux
All right, Animac, where are you
pointed
up
out
to in Hunter x Hunter?
the
And can
leg
we talk
pulling
about the
thing.
Chimera Ant arc?
I'm not far along into the Chimera Ant arc to want to talk about it in detail, so no.
All right, so did you see Greed Island?
I'm not gonna discuss specifics because I feel like whatever I say, there's gonna be spoilers. So let's just move on, okay?
Okay,
move on
so
to
this,
Hunter x Hunter.
what I'm gonna say is not spoiler territory. Gon's like, I guess the reason why he left was to find his dad. Kahlua would have left to get away from his crazy family that is forcing him to go into like become an assassin, and he could have went to become a hunter, try to find a new life, and meet his friends Gon and Leorio and Kurapika.
He never
and
wanted to do that. He never had that personal drive.
He had a personal drive to get away from being an assassin. And then he ended up he would make friends along the way and slowly warm up as a person. I feel like that would have been a natural
I feel
development.
like-
It wasn't something he wanted to do, but it ended up happening along
I
the
think
way.
it would have been dope to see Netero as a protagonist, to be honest. That'd have been crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of
Or
that,
Jane.
just because he said a name beginning with N, what if Demon Slayer was flipped? And it was Nezuko who became a Demon Slayer and Tanjiro became a demon.
It wouldn't be as cute.
Well, then Tanjiro would be... Yeah. Well.
Yeah,
would-
I mean,
What, you're going to see Tanjiro in a box? Come on.
And he's
man.
gonna go all little tiny Tanjiro. Actually, that'd be
They're
pretty
all-
fucking cute. I lied.
Nezuko and Tanjiro are almost always together anyway, right? It wouldn't be a huge difference.
I guess, yeah, maybe. I don't. Yeah, it wouldn't really change much. I just
Well,
thought
if
of it.
Inosuke was the protagonist...
Oh yeah, good point.
Bashing
Again,
his head against a
they're
tree.
together a lot. Maybe if like
Yeah.
Muzan was the protagonist.
How would that work?
The manga, so...
He
Can't
goes
say.
on to become an amazing musical
I'm
artist.
the seventh Hokage.
By the way, in the chat, there were people who said that they're surprised that I didn't say Kira's wife should have been the protagonist of JoJo's Part 4. And you don't want to see the type of anime that I would want to watch with Kira's wife as the protagonist. Like, let's just say it wouldn't be Kappa effective.
Friendly.
Papa effective.
Let me
What about
find.
Klein from Sword Art Online?
I mean, it's a meme, but
It could be fun because he has more of a genuine journey through that game than Kirito has because
Because he tried.
because he sucks at the beginning.
And he still
Rustage
sucks at
loves
and he still
underdog.
sucks. That's the problem. He still sucks.
Yeah, but hear me out. If he was the protagonist, he wouldn't suck at the end because they would. That's how they would do it. And then Kirito could become like a villain. Know what I
Alright.
mean?
You lost me.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if Bon would have been the protagonist of Seven Deadly Sins,
Okay, but don't yell.
Literally any sin, or most of the sins, could have been protagonist.
Deadly Sins.
Yeah, like Bon is my favorite character with Meliodas a close second, but I think Bon is great, and we do get to a great backstory from him, so I'm still happy.
I'm very content. Seven Deadly Sins did wonders with its characters.
It really
That's
did.
the best thing about Seven Deadly Sins, I feel, is some of its characters. I like them quite a lot.
Yeah, and I really like the fact that Meliodas is such an unconventional protagonist, because in Shonen, conventionally, a protagonist starts off as weak, and then he gets stronger and trains and all that stuff. Meliodas starts off as a 3,000-year-old overpowered demon,
Yeah.
so that's kind of like a totally, flips the script.
And he's still an amazing character. Like I tend to not love OP characters unless they're done right, as a Nuxtaku series.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I should do that one day.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
like,
love
Nux
awkward
used to
moments on Rack FA. Like
Nux used to do that series OP done right. Now he's just like, why MatPat is
Hey,
Conspiracy theorist.
I'm out of characters now.
Yeah.
I have
All
one
right, what
more.
about if Thor's was the protagonist of Vinland Saga?
I've not actually seen it yet. I want to though.
I feel like it's a
I mean, that
similar.
would be-
It'd be a
that would be
similar
cool.
journey because he was probably like crazy when he was young, and then as he got older and went through everything, he became more passionate and loving towards people.
Yeah, like it would be a cool prequel because he's definitely an interesting character for sure.
And he's an absolute fucking badass Chad.
Yeah, absolutely. People were also asking in the chat because they know that Gurren Lagann is my favorite anime, whether I thought that Kamina should have been the main character instead of Simone. Now that's a good question because I love Kamina so much, but I actually wonder whether if Kamina ended up being the protagonist, if it would have been a worse show, just because Kamina is so much larger than life, that if we didn't have Simone as the main grounding character, and then we didn't have Kamina happen, if what happened didn't happen, it would have been different. Like Kamina's power is in the fact that what happens in episode 8, and that kind of almost makes him greater as a character. So I don't necessarily think that he would have been.
Animac, what happens in episode 8?
Nothing. Don't worry.
I
But
don't
I
necessarily
agree
think
with Animac
that he would have
here.
been a better protagonist. I just love Gurren Lagann the way it is.
I feel like
Okay,
he had
this-
an impact and influenced the rest of the series because of what happened, and I think the rest of the characters would have been weaker if he had maintained being the protagonist, and it would have just been all about him.
Yeah.
I'm just glad that, who was it, Screw Attack or Watch Mojo? They put him in the top 10 stupidest anime characters video. I thought that was very nice.
It was, yeah, I think it was Screw Attack. Fucking.
Sam the Gum Man just
This sounds like a
donated
joke.
300 bits, and I have a great character to talk about that he recommended, but go ahead.
Oh, okay.
First. You go first.
Okay, this sounds like a joke, but I'm serious. Mumen Rider.
Ha!
Punch Man. Sorry, my mouse has died. I need to plug it back in and out.
Oh, Nux, I bet you wish you picked this one.
It's great, and I do.
I'm not on that.
The problem
I'm not on
is
that.
his goal is just to help and do enough. Like, how
That-
could he eventually be more impactful to make the series entertaining? I feel like his small little parts that he's in it are amazing and are so wholesome. But if he was the main character, like,
Yeah, I guess so.
he'd have to get
I'm not
strong.
sure.
He'd have to get strong, right? He couldn't just be like the support character forever. Like,
But
or
what if
just,
he does? What if he eventually becomes the One Punch Man, and that's what the One Punch Man's about?
It's true. I mean, that'd be pretty
So
cool.
Mumen Rider
Eventually, he
becomes
loses
the
his
One Punch
helmet
Man.
and can no longer wear a
Yeah.
helmet, and turns out he's bald underneath.
Yeah.
All right, so the character
Mumen
I wanted
Rider
to
is
talk
like-
about was Lambo from Hitman Reborn.
Oh,
No, you don't.
It would have been
That's like-
it could be a time travel anime. Imagine him living his life, and then out of nowhere, he pops into a different time to help out like younger versions of Tsuna and the other main characters. Like, it'd be really interesting because you could watch his timeline like out of order.
That's one of my brother's favorite animes, and I'm sure he would probably agree with you, but I haven't
He
seen it.
definitely wouldn't, because fucking no one likes Lambo. It's
Yeah,
the
no,
dumb-
he wouldn't.
Oh, wait. Is Lambo the little one?
The little
He's the
fucking
little
cow.
lamb cow thing.
I would have to ask him if he likes Lambo.
All right, everyone in the chat's been saying it for a while. Let's just do it. Speedwagon.
Speedway.
Greatest waifu of JoJo's.
Oh, okay. Again, I don't know anything about JoJo's yet, but I am gonna watch it.
One day.
Speedwagon to me is cool, but I'm not on that whole Speedwagon waifu train at all myself. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just a
enough,
Joseph
fair enough.
Dick Rider forever.
Joseph should have been the protagonist of every part.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
At least up to 4.
Yeah.
To be fair, Dio's really the protagonist of JoJo's. Like I would say that he should be, but he just is.
Does he actually
He's in part
become
1.
the president or
part one.
something?
He's around in part 2. He's in part 3. He's very important to part 4. His son's the main guy in part 5. He's in part 6. He's in part 7.
That's awesome. I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, Dio
Yeah.
Dio is excellent. What if Prince Clovis was the main character in Code Geass?
Yeah.
No,
What if Brock was the protagonist of Pokemon?
no, but realistically, I'm joking, obviously. But Lelouch is like the perfect protagonist in Code Geass. No,
Yeah,
one
he
can-
really is.
Such a dismissive, yeah. It It was so good.
Yoshi,
You
thank
totally
you for the
convinced me
500
with your
bits.
one phrase.
Okay, shoot. I'm trying to think of anime movies now that could have a different.
I don't know.
protagonist.
Have any of you read Made in Abyss?
I have not yet.
No.
Sorry.
I have not read it. I've seen it.
Because
Are you
is
gonna
a
say
freaking awesome
if
character.
the villain was the main guy, Bone Druid?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, how about this then?
Bone Druid.
What if? Yeah. What if what if Guts was the main character of Berserk instead of Griffith?
Yeah. What if?
Would have been pretty cool.
Yeah. To be fair, they're really both the protagonists of Berserk. It does follow both of their stories completely.
It's true.
All right. Haikyuu, because I just want to mention it because I like Haikyuu a lot. Haikyuu has quite a lot of characters on enemy teams that have whenever they're in a volleyball match and you're feeling like, yeah, they're gonna beat them, it's gonna be great. Then all of a sudden the enemy team gets an emotional flashback to make you feel like shit for wanting them to lose. And it happens every time.
Yeah.
And
Dude, my favorite character in Haikyuu is Oikawa.
well,
and
he could be a good protagonist, and
He could be an amazing protagonist.
so could quite a lot of those characters could be amazing just protagonists on their own.
Even just following the story of another team would be awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Or Arakawa's a good one, but there's tons.
Someone in chat just said my last pick, Vegeta. I think Vegeta and getting his full story would be more interesting than Goku. Imagine
Goku's
him.
kind of boring.
Imagine Goku still being in it and like saving the day, or like maybe not saving the day as many times like Vegeta was the one, but like reacting to Goku. I don't know. I think their relationship's awesome. Imagine
Whoever
if it
can
was
pull
bit
off a good
reversed.
Vegeta voice, let's just have a Vegeta reaction channel on YouTube. Reacting to all of Goku's best
What is
moments.
this Super Saiyan bargain sale?
It's really sad. Like he's slowly getting drunker and drunker as he's getting through them, as he's drinking himself into a deeper and deeper depression.
What am I
was
saying?
gonna say-
Gohan should have been the protagonist. I'm fried. Fucking like after the Cell saga, when he goes Super Saiyan 2 and defeats Cell, he
Yeah,
what's his name? He was actually supposed to be the protagonist, and then Goku was just
but
so
this
iconic
Goku
they
was
couldn't do it.
Too marketable. Yeah, and that happens a lot, unfortunately, in quite a lot of series.
Yeah, I would have loved to see arcs about Gohan studying for university.
all right. But how about this? What if the robbers were the main characters of Home Alone?
Oh, and
What if
they actually
are?
had like an actual motivation. Like
Actually,
they-
they want to steal stuff, man. That's
they have a
motivation.
goal.
right there.
They
No,
have
no,
a
no.
journey. They face challenges.
But it's not like they want to steal stuff for
It's-
evil purposes. They want to steal stuff because maybe Kevin's mum is like an evil billionaire or whatever,
Kleptomaniac.
and like because of her decisions in something, they lost their homes and they need to provide because they've got 20 children that are dying. So they're like, it's fine. They're going to be out for the holidays. We'll just steal some money so we can get by. And then little piece of shit Kevin, who doesn't know anything about the economy, is throwing bricks at them and shit.
This is
That
literally
would
what
be good.
happens when you watch that movie through like a Marxist lens.
Yeah. I think it would be good.
In the chat, Caster Club is, what if Evanito was the protagonist of Rent Cafe?
What a
That would be hilarious if I knew who Evanito was.
Yeah, we're gonna get me and Evan on at the same time.
The last one with Evan, though.
No, me
Evan
and
did a lot of
Evan-
them.
Yeah, but I've never been on with Evan, even though
We'll
I'm
make
his
it
boss.
happen.
Yeah.
We got
People are
fish in the
spamming
chat.
fish in chat. Wow, well done.
Yeah, respect with the fish. What other characters I love that should have been protagonists?
I don't know. There's I'm trying to think of obscure anime now.
Takamura instead of Ippo.
I feel like I liked Takamura as that like extremely naturally talented player in the distance that like Ippo could kind of chase after. Like Ippo was kind of more of an underdog, and I feel like it's sold more with boxing. And Takamura is this absolute badass that's like a great side character.
The Goblin instead of Goblin
Like-
Slayer.
Like we still followed all of Takamura's journey more or less. Like all of his fights we get to see from the start of the series onwards. Maybe we could get a little bit more of a backstory for Takamura.
What about
that'd be-
Kurabara, Yu Yu Hakusho?
I was thinking Hiei from Yu Yu Hakusho.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking the other character from Yu Yu Hakusho. What's it?
I'm thinking of Kurama.
Kurama,
What
there we
about
go.
that baby god guy, Buddha thing? Whatever it's
What about that old lady?
Oh my
I don't
God.
remember anyone's name.
Okay,
It's so bad.
let's come up with some serious ones because we've done a bunch of joke ones.
All right, all right. To be honest, I think that Death the Kid would have been a better protagonist than Maka for Soul Eater.
Oh, that's controversial, bro, because Maka's cool.
What the hell? Are you talking-
Megumin as a protagonist instead of Kazuma.
Megumin
Oh,
is the
see,
protagonist.
that's just the meme. Like Kazuma is such a great protagonist
Yes.
in
Kaz-
sense.
Kazuma's amazing. I wouldn't want anything different than Kazuma.
Yeah, exactly. Although Kazuma pisses me off for certain reasons.
He doesn't bang everyone.
Well, primarily darkness
You
and
just
Aqua.
watched this, so you'll definitely remember the name. The name of the leader of the Blood Blockade Battlefront would have been a dope protagonist of Kekkai Sensei.
Oh, I don't remember his name, but he would have. What's his name? Fuck.
Does
R? Does it start with an R? He would have,
Man.
though. He was an insanely cool character. Claws! Not even
Yeah, I love
close.
Fabson says Crollo, and yeah, Crollo is such an interesting guy, especially because
Man,
of the nature
Crollo.
of his nen.
okay? Does this count? Kamida from Danganronpa 2.
Have not seen.
As someone who's I've seen Danganronpa and Danganronpa 3, but
Have
not
you played the
Danganronpa 2.
games? Oh, well, because it's
I
the
have
game.
not.
Oh, okay.
There was no
Never mind.
Danganronpa 2 anime.
Yeah, yeah,
there?
because well, no, not
Follow
really.
the story of the game, right? And
Yeah, there was none that followed the story of the game. Which is it's the best game
Gabriel
out of the
Dropout had
out
the
of the-
protagonist. Yeah,
3 games. It's the best game, Danganronpa 2. So missing out.
really.
oh, Pokemon. People were talking about Pokemon in chat. Actually,
Pokemon
good
would be good.
trainers, or maybe an older version of Ash. You know?
Oh, just someone that isn't Ash. You know what? I mean?
Exactly.
I'm sick of that
Anyone.
kid.
Hello. What about if Red was the protagonist of Pokemon?
Just like there's so many characters now. I almost feel like they should have had a different character for each region, if that made sense. But Ash is just popular.
Exactly. But if they wanted to stay with it, they could have just made him age like once per season, like every couple of seasons, just 1 year older, so that he at least learns from his past experiences, gets
issue
stronger
is,
as a trainer.
Yeah, I
and-
know. Like, bro, The
This is going
Simpsons.
for
have
20
been
years.
the same
You don't
for
want a
30
30-year
times.
Ash that never successfully.
Okay, once you get to 18, then you stop aging, or 17 or 16. Like
He
12,
does-
13-year-old Ash.
I don't know. He does look a little bit. I don't know if he is actually canonically still 10.
They're making him younger.
I think he's
He
12 or
looks-
13. And the problem with that is he never learns from previous seasons. He never gains any experience. He's always this dumb kid that, like, it's like everything's new to him. Like, you've been through 20 seasons. This shit is not new to you.
Yeah, but to be fair, when we were 13 and stuff, we weren't brilliant either. But the thing is that,
I mean,
yeah,
speak
you
for
have to have
yourself.
them actually age because, like, the Simpsons have been the same age for 35 years, and I can't even watch it anymore. Like, I'm done.
I always feel like this part of the running joke of the Simpsons.
But it's a comedy, though. Like, I feel like that's okay.
No, it's part of
and-
the joke, but it's a joke. Like, it's too much, man. Like, I stopped watching after, like, season 15.
Well, eventually it stopped getting, like, wasn't as funny, right?
Okay,
Yeah,
what if
exactly. And I
Doofenshmirtz-
think it's because they don't want to change. Like, if to order to stay relevant, you got to be willing to change and age and spice things up.
He
But
just drops shows left and right, man. You didn't even give it a chance. You didn't even get to season 18, man.
I know season 15, I dropped it. I'm sorry, guys.
Okay, this sounds like a joke, and it's also not an anime. But Doofenshmirtz in Phineas and Ferb, I think would be a very good protagonist.
Incorporated.
Just because he actually has a really nice story and arc, and he has really good relationships, and I feel like if they explored his story more, he could become a good protagonist.
I think
of
that'd be pretty
Phineas and Ferb. Okay, we can go back to anime now. I'm sorry for bringing Western media to this
Nah.
anime discussion.
No need to apologize. I had one. I can't remember what I was going to talk about now.
Yeah, Urahara would have been a better protagonist than Ichigo.
Yeah, that was.
Probably.
I was thinking that maybe, but Chad as well was good.
I
Like,
love
his
that.
name is Chad, bro.
Yeah.
What else do you want?
Someone messaged me saying I should cosplay as him.
Oh, that'd be good.
That would be great. Yeah.
No, it wouldn't. I look nothing like him.
Oh, shit.
But like I feel like it would, how would I
But
even
the
like?
statement you would make with that. Would be
Yes, I don't know. I'm not good at cosplay. I don't know if I could pull that off. But yeah, that'd be fun. Oh, I was
Briggs
talking
is
about L
such a
versus.
Chad. He waits for people to cosplay him.
It's true. What was I gonna say? L versus Light. Although I think Light was the better protagonist and the right choice because it's interesting from that perspective of like an anti-hero, but I feel like they could have pulled it off from an L perspective as well, and just have Light be this villain in the distance, and you
Yes,
don't even know
that's
if it's
true.
Light or not, type of thing. And
Oh
then
yeah, for there being that mystery that you sort of lose the fact that it is just two minds. But the protagonist is kind of Ryuk anyway. He's the lens at least.
Mm.
And I feel like Light and L, especially in the middle of it, almost they have equal amount of time. That if you still made L the protagonist, it would be the same story. I would feel just start differently.
Yeah, because they're exactly that. I think that's a good point because it is really the story of the two of them and their rivalry.
All that would change is the beginning. You wouldn't see
Yeah.
how Light got the Death Note. All that would change would be the beginning bit. But
Yeah.
that would be it. I think. I don't know. I think Death Note's good the way that it is.
I agree.
I don't know. There's
Yeah.
so many.
I'm with you. And with that all said and done, I think it's a good place to wrap it up. Covered like a good 100 anime.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure,
went
I'm sure
through
we
it
did.
pretty fast. I feel like the stream's gonna like the video's gonna be like 50 minutes. Do you want to do some reviews?
Reviews of anime?
No.
All right, let's review some anime.
Reviewing some anime. No, we read reviews from the Google Podcast or the iTunes and stuff.
I see.
It's called Apple Podcast now. No
I
more
see.
iTunes.
Oh.
No more
First
iTunes.
review.
No more
Found-
Google Hangouts. Everything is changing, bro.
Yeah,
This setup's pretty cool though.
Yeah.
it is.
At least there's that.
At least
Um,
there's that.
can I-
NSFW. Not suited for work. 5 stars. Nux Taku is in these and he talks about stuff for an hour. Hilarious and entertaining. All right. Next, 5 stars. 5 stars. In Animax's constant battle for professionalism, why would the intro music change to a ringtone from a 2000s era Nokia flip phone?
Well, first of all, because Nokia is back, bitch. And second of all, hey,
I love how
Me
he
and my-
defends it.
me and my
Nokia.
friend actually made that track. That's part of a track that we made together. It's not released yet or anything. But the point is, copyright is ruining everyone.
Yeah.
C-Dog VA, our friend, had
Oh.
his whole channel basically copyright striked or claimed for an outro that he paid the rights to use, but because it was a remix, he didn't have the rights. So basically, guys, we created a completely new intro that doesn't rely on any remixes or anything just because we're afraid.
I love how
I can-
Rustage is holding his hand up
Hi.
right now.
Hello. I could make you an intro if you need one. If you want.
Ooh.
Like, if you want to do it from scratch, yeah. But like,
Yeah, I would. No, I would do it from scratch. I would make a whole song from scratch for you guys if you want for your podcast.
that'd be sick.
That'd be
I
really
gave you
cool,
that.
bro.
Yeah. Okay.
I
I'll
mean,
do that.
That would be awesome. And then
Dude, that's epic.
can it
Hell
be like
yeah.
can it be like the One Piece rap?
It doesn't have to be a rap. I mean,
No,
it can. It depends on what you want.
We
Okay,
literally,
so we can do like a
totally
instrumental
forgot.
version, but then also a rap version, right?
Okay.
and we'll
yes.
post it on Rat Cafe. Let's make it happen.
No,
Yeah,
I
we
totally
need
forgot. We need to work on our thing.
I'm
Brad.
only waiting on you to fill in that Google document, Nux.
I'll send it to you. Never fear. I already filled out a bunch of stuff.
Okay,
Anyway.
cool.
Next review, 5 stars. I love it because in every episode a JoJo reference is made, as well as Nux and Briggs mentioning how nothing happened in the latest chapter of One Piece. I often find myself either correcting friends on how to properly pronounce anime, all in all very cool podcast. Briggs, the ultimate Chad lad. Animag, best dad. Nux Taku, the greatest antagonist in the world. And you know I'm being serious because it's the world, not the world.
Yeah.
I would like to mention that I did start watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. You're welcome. Have a lovely evening, and remember to stay weird, fam.
Nice. Wave Tama donated 300 bits to say, Briggs, I will donate more if you cosplay Chad. God damn it. I
Gotta
guess
do
I got
it.
to.
Just get the big thing on your arm. He just wears regular clothes besides that.
And he has like a little, I guess, gold chain and stuff. But I promised I was going to cosplay Todoroki. I do a terrible cosplay of Todoroki at 500,
Well, you should have
500,000
spoiled that for me. That would have been hilarious.
500,000
Well, you guys
subscribers.
do, the Chad and Virgin cosplay.
Yeah, right.
This is bad for an audio podcast, but I just posted a picture in the Discord.
That is great. Yeah.
Oh,
That's
damn.
great.
Yeah, as Briggs is the Chad, and then whoever wants to be the Virgin, the incel.
That's amazing. Damn. Next review, rated 420 out of 69. 5 stars. Probably the best anime podcast in the world. And I'm serious, because it's the one that's the one that I listen to ear while doing homework or working out. Though I am disappointed there hasn't been any debates on best JoJo characters. Get on that, Nux and my boy Tekking. Anyway.
Is Tekking a JoJo's guy?
Not my knowledge, but apparently. We have the microcosm of the macrocosm, which is Rant Cafe. 5 stars. Yeah, you just blew Animax mind. Doesn't take much, apparently. So I'm just going to get straight to the point and give the people who are listening what they're still listening to. What?
What?
Here we go. Mumen Rider cycling while standing is the greatest flex in all of Zawardo of anime. Second only to the greatness of Lord D. Twigo-sama Senpai-san des. The greatest flex in Rant Cafe is not correctly pronouncing Furumeto de Kimisiburezu and pressuring Animek and Briggs to pronounce it correctly every time in order to flex on them by repeating it himself afterwards.
It's so true.
All right, Briggs, Animek, want to give it a shot?
Furu
don't even have
Metal
the reviews.
Alchemisto Brotherhood.
All right, not bad, not bad. Animek,
Furumetal Alchemisto Brotherhood.
That was solid.
Lock, Rustage, let's do it.
Okay. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, dude.
All right, not bad.
Not good.
Joestar's most powerful stat ability, run for all. Run for all!
I don't know if
Right,
Rustage is
you
crying
gotta be
or
that.
laughing right now.
I'm losing my mind.
Welcome to Rant Cafe, everybody.
I feel like this is like what they do to prisoner of wars. They
Say it.
force them to say
Say it.
say Full Metal Alchemist correctly. Full Metal Alchemist. No, wrong. Keep doing it.
If we ever have like a weeb civil war, that is what's gonna happen.
Oh no.
It will be glorious. Next review. Guess the title.
What?
Oh my
God.
5 stars. Your guys' podcast is an everlasting source of enjoyment, which helps me get through my life. Noxtaku Man of Cultures is the correct way. Briggs is a Chad, and Animac with a C is an uncultured swine who needs to watch One Piece.
Well, I guess we don't know who that is, so
Could you bring Evanito into another episode again just to make fun of his phobia of fish?
Does he have a phobia of fish? I didn't know this.
Phobia of fish.
Nux, we did fire and lightning, right? We got to do water and then invite Evanito.
Hell yeah. Evanito,
Man.
that'd be hilarious.
we should do a whole podcast on Fishman Island.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I actually love Fishman Island. People do not give it enough love.
I like it too. I do like it too.
Attaboy.
Agreed. I also love Fishman Island. Your podcast is fun and entertaining. All hair Lord Twigo-sama. May you have his blessing. Thank you. Very cool.
Thank you. If Lord
Next
Twigo
one.
was the protagonist of
Massive
Seven Deadly Sins.
Tientioi spoilers. Do not read. 5 stars.
Wait.
Nuxenor, in reality, is Animax Tsundere shoulder lolly. Animax sees young Chibi Nux Mina-san as a viable option, so agrees. The one great chat above all praise his name, Lord Brigo-sama Sensei. By the facts of all the truths in Zoardo, the Isekai Reckless truck gods as witness, Animac does see best girl Megumin as a viable option, however cannot admit it due to harem law. This is supported by the fact that Nux is actually Megumin in disguise, the hardest flexing woman of all time. And a note, if you can't read this on your podcast because it's too long, I understand, but no matter how long-winded the truth may be, it cannot be denied.
I don't know what's
Okay.
happening, but I hate it, I think.
That was a great review. What are you talking about?
By the way,
Oh
if you
my
wanna
God, this one's
if you wanna give us
freaking
a
random.
great review like the ones you're hearing, wherever you watch your podcast, giving us a 5-star review and commenting is always helpful to promote the podcast to more people. So, and maybe Nux will read it in his golden voice.
But anyway, guys. this has
And we have
been
a few more reviews that I will not read because I have no patience. Thank you all so much for submitting. Extremely cool. It was awesome. Animac, pull the outro.
Thank you guys. We're back again next week. Thank you to Rustage for
Hello.
being here with us. Link
Thank
in the
you, thank
description on YouTube and all that stuff.
Oh, can I get
Rustage,
Next week, 6th of December. When does this podcast come out? Mondays, right?
I'll have it on Saturday on YouTube, and Animac will have it out tonight or tomorrow on
Cool,
every
great.
other platform.
Then next Friday, 6th of December, I'm releasing my biggest project yet, which is my Class 1A rap cipher where every single person from Class 1A in My Hero Academia raps. Nux Taku is on it as Mineta, so you don't want to miss it. I just
Oh yeah,
there
man.
you go.
That's
That
awesome.
sounds amazing.
I can't wait for it, man. Spoilers. Okay, Nux.
Spoilers.
I also want to see a version where Nux Taku is every character and he has to
Okay.
keep changing his voice. That would be cool.
Yeah,
yeah.
I was thinking I could definitely do R word Kaminari.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
Anyways,
All right.
thank you-
Well,
thank you,
thank
Rustage,
you
for
all
joining
so
us.
much for coming. It was truly a pleasure. Thank you, Animac, for being such a wonderful host and doing a phenomenal job.
Thank you,
Rusted-
Nux. Thank you.
You're welcome. Rustage, truly a mad lad, and Nux and Briggs to say adieu.
And until next time, see you, Space Cowboys.
Chill.
Bang. Yo, everyone should follow us on Twitch because I kind of want to play Apex right now. Nux, do you want to play Apex?
I want to play Apex.
Rustage, you wanna play
playing
Apex?
I'm 100% down to play some Apex Legends.
Oh my
Hey.
god, this is gonna be epic.
Animac,
Animac, you want to
gotta
commentate?
download it, my
or you
dude.
wanna
I would have
quickly
asked you if you
wave at the camera?
downloaded.
I don't, but definitely follow rantcafe.tv.
Yeah. Bang.